This is something that I believe needs to be said, because there is a lot of alarmist thinking, and there's a lot of wringing of hands, and there's there's a prevalence of a mentality whereby if such and such is not achieved by such and such a time, then everything is ruined and it's over. And there are, of course, people who seem to relish saying things like, it's already over, it's too late, it's going to be bad from here on in. Or as O'Brien famously or infamously put it in George Orwell's 1984, you want to know what the future looks like, picture a boot kicking a human face forever. All of these ideas presuppose that once you get to a certain point of domination or control by a particular group or entity or ideology or power of some kind, that once that happens, things will remain static forever. And that's just not true. You know, for better and for worse, it's not true. Because things are always in flux. That's part of what mortal human life means. It means that nothing will ever be absolutely preserved in amber, including good things. You know, say that we had the fortune of living in a golden age. Well, in that case, the knowledge that things are always in flux, that would be a reminder that we would prefer to forget about, because we're living in a golden age in that case. And the notion that, you know, things are going to change somehow, and this golden age is going to eventually dissipate because things are always in flux, because, you know, no one is held in control. No one is controlled or held in sway forever by a belief or an ideology or a way of thinking or a political party or what have you, whether that entity that's being described be good or bad, right? So in a golden age, knowing that everything is in flux is something that is a sobering thought. But I think that in an age that's increasingly inclined towards dystopia, such as the one in which we find ourselves living in, I think there is great comfort in this recognition that everything is in flux. You think that things are there are people who just seem to get off on, just seem to get an orgasm from their despair, or from spreading their despair to others. And this is what I mean when I record a video and I say I don't want to hear from anybody who's black-pilled. You know, take that elsewhere. It's just I find that it's not helpful, right? Especially when things are in a very dire state. It's not helpful to say to rub everybody's noses in how crappy things are. You know, that's almost like a kind of cruelty, right? And I get that people have, you know, since I get that despair is real, and people have a sincere, you know, I felt it myself. I know it. I know the feeling. But it's something that you have to overcome. And again, I think a reminder, and this is not me being white-pilled. This is not me being stupidly optimistic. This is just a reminder that nothing is preserved in amber. Everything is in a state of flux. Things will change. 50 years from now, you won't be able to recognize 2071 will be as radically different from 2021 as 2021 was from 1971. Right? Just to take a span of years. And that span of 50 years happens to be my lifespan. I don't believe I'll live to see 2071, but I do think that it won't be the same world that we're living in now. Will it be better? Well, I guess it's hard to imagine things getting worse, but I guess it could be worse. There are things that could get worse. But in any case, it's always changing. There's always hope because things are always changing. So there's no fixed point where suddenly, hope goes out the window, right? And that's why all of this talk about everything that these, people who believe in the political system and who are promoting a political candidate of one kind or another, they always say, oh, this is the most important election ever, and if this one doesn't go our way, then then you might as well just throw in the towel. So get all get all angsty and get all consternated and bring your hands and get get just this brimful of angst and anxiety and borderline despair, over this candidate X winning over candidate Y, because if Y wins over X, or if X wins over Y, then you can just forget about it forever. No, it's never like that, for good or for ill. I hope that I'm making myself clear here. It's never like that. There's some, I remember hearing, I believe this is a saying, I believe from the Taoist tradition, if I'm not mistaken. And it's this continuing saga where a man breaks his leg. He falls off his horse and breaks his leg, and people say, what a shame. But the wise man says, who knows what's good or bad? And then people come by looking to conscript young men to fight in a war. But the young man who broke his leg from falling off the horse can't go. He can't be conscripted. So he catches a break, and people say, wow, what a good fortune for you. And then the wise man says, who knows what's good or bad? And then something else happens where which is bad for the guy, and people mourn about it, and say what a bad break. But the wise man says, who knows what's good or bad? And then something good happens. See what I mean? Good comes out of bad, bad comes out of good. It's just a never-ending cycle until we are taken out of temporality and brought to a place where things are fixed, where things are static, a place like heaven or hell. But this is not heaven, this is not hell. This is earth, this is mortal human life. And in this realm, things will always be in flux. And I think at a dark time like ours, where people are just tempted to give up and throw up their hands or to set deadlines, right? The deadlines, just stop with the deadlines. Stop with the if X doesn't happen by Y, then or by this particular date. If these things don't occur by this particular date or on this particular date, then it's over. It's over, man. No, if things don't, if the deadline isn't reached, or if something bad happens, or if another crappy demagogue gets elected, tyranny favoring politician gets elected or gets re-elected, it doesn't mean it's not the end. Things are always in flux, okay? So never give up. But at the same time, never get too comfortable. Never think if things go your way, then, oh, well, and then now we're finally headed in the right direction. Because who knows? Who knows what's good or bad, as the wise man said. in that Taoist fable. So, just a few words of quasi-wisdom. Take them or leave them. Thank you for watching.